Hi, how are you? Today we are going to continue our lecture on lecture week 3 with the title of Introduction Econometrics and Simple Linear Regression Model. Let's start. As introduction, in general, the econometric knowledge is the application of statistical method to economic data in order to give empirical content to economics relationship. Moreover, econometric theory uses statistical theory and mathematical statistics to evaluate and develop econometric method. Econometric is also a science that combines theory and application through the application of economic knowledge. Various issues are considered by economists, and then the questions that have been raised have been addressed through the use of econometric knowledge. In economic field, econometric can be considered as a tool. How many econometric tools in the field? It can be 100 or even 1,000 economic tools in related field. Econometric itself is a combination of three main sciences as it drives economic, mathematics, and statistics. For example, we assume that in economics there are two fields, the two main fields. The first one is microeconomic issue. The example like what is a revenue situation for the country? Is monthly individual income a major determinant of lower income insurance spending for bottom 40 household? The second main field in the economic study is a macroeconomic issue. The question always arises in the macroeconomic issue is, are export drive the growth of the national economy? Is the country level of production on contributing factor to a release of carbon dioxide gases simulation? Next, let's start with simple linear regression model. Simple linear regression model is an econometric tool or one of econometric approach. Here is an example of macroeconomics level where the general expectation model is YT equal to beta 0. Beta 0 is the constant plus beta 1. Beta 1 is slope coefficient. X1t is the independent variable. And we have sigma t here, we call it as error term. Here we provide the table 1, where table 1 is about a set data of household, 10 household, 1 household until 10 household, which is the total observation here is 10. And also we represent the data for YT, which is the expenditure for every household from household 1 until household 10 in Tanjung Malim Perak. Where Y is dependent variable, if we look at the general equation here, Y will be presented at the left hand side here. Where X is the independent variable, where X is income and X in the right side of the equation. Well, in the table 1 here, we provide the information of expenditure and also income for every household from household number 1 until household number 10. Now, here in this course, the econometric model and model structure will develop in SPSS and in Word document. From table 1, we produce the figure 1, where in figure 1 we plot of expenditure information against the number of observation. Because of this is the cross section, because this is the primary data, So every expenditure will be versus the number of household. You can do the same graph like this by use the information of income versus the household. This graph we can say that trend analysis. Now we go to the next part where how to write the mathematical equation by using the Microsoft Word. Well, in order to perform or to write the proper equation in Microsoft Word, we have to open the Microsoft Word, then we click on Insert, then we click on Object, and the box like this will appear, and we choose here under the Create New is Microsoft Equation 3.0 and we click OK. And after that, we can start to write our own equation. Okay. Next slide. Okay. In econometric module, you also have the activity data collection, where you will get this equation. Then I hope that you can start do the quiz 1, which is provide 10% from the coursework mark. This activity is about how to collect information according to weekly spending on food versus the pocket money across 10 university students, which is you can randomly pick. This is a table we provide in the module, econometric module, and you have to plot the graph like in my example. The due date is on week 8, submit in my guru. You can watch video example I will provide. You can perform the data collection by using the Google form or video presentation, and provide proof upon submission. Okay, let's continue to understand about the simple linear regression model. In general, the very simple case of single scalar predictor variable, since like say x and single scalar response variable, let's say y, is known as simple linear regression. In other words, the simple linear regression model is an analysis of one dependent variable to one independent variable. Let's assume that linear function form is as follow example, where in this case y is dependent variable with function of linear function where the highest power is 1. So we can say that the linear function is y equal to a plus bx. The functional form is always assumed to maintain the hypothesis. That's why we'll assume the sign in the equation always positive. Okay. By having after we perform the equation, we next have to perform the hypothesis testing. Now we have to test whether beta 1 equal to 0 or beta 1 not equal to 0. If beta 1 equal to 0, income is not important in influencing or explaining household spending. But if beta 1 not equal to 0, which is beta 1 is some number, beta 1 is slope coefficient, so income is important in influencing or explaining household spending. There is manual calculation of simple linear regression model. Okay, like in previous example. Okay, in the examination, in step 1, you will provided this table. The table will be only covered in the exam is observation, y, and also x. you have to expand the table until y square, x square, and x times y. Then you have to calculate everything manually. Alright, so you can try to do this according to my example here. So the step 2, you have to calculate for mean value for x, y, and y, x and y. Whereas for y, we call it as y bar, and x, we call it as x bar. This is the step 2. Step 3, you have to calculate for beta 1, which is the slope coefficient, by using the formula provided here. Then step 3, you have to calculate for constant by using the formula here. Alright, and by just substitute the value from the previous value that you get from the table, then you have to transfer into the formula here. Yeah. So just substitute the number into the formula, then until you get the value. And the step 4, you have to make the estimated model. You have to substitute the value into the equation. Then you have to interpret and come up with some conclusion. You just can refer to the conclusion and how to transfer the information from step 1, step 2, 3, and 4 into step 5. Then make your own conclusion. Okay. In the next week, I will show you of how to do the hypothesis testing. Okay. Thank you very much. But before that, I would like to show you how to do equation. How to do the equation by using the Microsoft Word. Firstly, you go to Insert, then you click on Object, then you click here. Okay, from here you can try to write the equation. Right? So equal to alpha plus beta x plus summation, then small letter you can click here. Okay, that's all. So when you want to expand again the equation, you just double click. Alright, and then you can continue repairing the equation. Alright. So that's all. Okay, thank you.